All right. I am so excited. I have a special guest with me. This guy sent me the greatest email of all time. So I knew I had to get him on the podcast. Chammas is here. You're the best. So I don't even know where to start. I mean, well, to kind of set up the episode for people, obviously, we're going to talk about this incredible journey that you've had using LinkedIn to basically start a business from scratch, scale it, become wildly successful. And you sent me an email about how the book LinkedIn Rich has really had a big impact on you. So we're definitely going to talk about all that because, of course, I want to shamelessly self-promote my own stuff. But let's start, man. Let's start with your backstory. So where are you from? Where did you grow up? You know, what were you doing professionally? And kind of take us up to the point where, you know, LinkedIn enters the picture.
Yeah, great. First of all, John, great to be on the show. Thanks for having me. And indeed, when I sent you that email, it was from the heart because your book and actually you changed my life. And we're going to talk about that in a while. Now, going back to my back-end story. So my name is Chammas. My first name is Habib. So my friends call me Habib. I was born in Lebanon, in the Middle East. And I was one of those immigrants who left Lebanon for 20 plus years. And I moved to different places in the world, between East Asia and Dubai. And I joined the corporate world and I went through all the ups and downs. In 2017, I started being an author. So, you know, like every other author, I thought I'm going to change the world. I was a bit naive in a way, you know, in my own mind. And the publisher kind of, you know, took me for a ride. He saw a naive guy who wanted to change the world and they wanted my money. So I was conned in a way. And I paid 65,000 US dollars for a publisher, and it all went down the drain. Trust me for that. So
brutal.
They published my book, but nothing happened.
Let's pause there because so many people, myself included, and I tell a story where I once spent $30,000 US on Facebook ads back in the day when I had no money and was putting everything on personal credit cards, trying to sell online courses and had zero sales. So how did you not let that stop you? And where did that lead you to? Because so many people not make a mistake, but just get taken for a ride like that. It's got to be so devastating. How did you overcome that? And what did it lead to?
You know what? I don't want my wife to hear me. I couldn't face my wife in the eye and tell her I'm a loser. I was naive and I lost 65K. Trust me on that. So what I've done, actually, I went back, I took a step backward, started to study the publishing world. How can I recoup my loss? I just wanted to recoup that loss. That's it, full stop, yeah? So I started to study everything about publishing, marketing, and even monetizing, you know, a book and the services. So, and then I republished the same book that failed. Imagine, same book, different cover, different title, but different promotion plan. And the book hit the bestseller list. And after that, I was invited to the media in the US. I did the media tour and started to get on different channels. And I thought it was by luck. This is how it started, yeah? So I published 2 other books and then the third one, so a total of 4 in a way. And 2 of them actually each sold more than 100,000 copies. And I was surprised by that, yeah? Like it's for an author who's not known, selling that much was really a game changer for me. This is when I thought I have something that I could start sharing with the world. In 2022, in Dubai, a lady approached me. She told me, SJ, you've done all of that. Can you teach me? Can you share that with me? So I guided her on all the steps for free, by the way. And her book made a bank and she started to appear on stages and stuff like that. And she told me, I think, man, you have a business model here. You should start doing that. And going now to Facebook. Then I was conned again by some PR agencies, paying them tens of thousands of dollars on, it wasn't Meta at that time, Facebook and Instagram, and now doing all those ads and all this shit. Sorry for the word, yeah. So
that's okay. I would feel the same way. I would say this. I may have said similar words when I had that experience.
And really down the drain until I found your book, by the way. I forgot how I found you, was on email or something, or LinkedIn. And you gave me that book. I really studied it. It's like a surgery. I did the surgical treatment of the book, really took every word seriously. And I thought in a way we share some common background. You failed somewhere, you wanted to stand up, maybe different story, but same concept in a way. So you were kind of my role model. So I thought, if this guy John could do it, I can fucking do it. So let me do it. Yeah. So I started really DMing people on LinkedIn, copying your style, because not because I wanted to copy you, because it felt real to me. It felt I'm very close in a way. Yeah. So I started copying your style, like the connection request, break the ice, nurture the relationship, don't be salesy, and this kind of stuff. And it changed my world. So in 2022, end of 2022, I started that approach. In 2 years' time, I got 50 plus authors with whom I published their books and did all the promotion services for them without a single cent of investment on Meta or Facebook or Instagram or whatever, just because of LinkedIn messages. So everything was outreach. I built a relationship with them. I never sold them. I was always wanting to add value to them. They loved that. And when one was vulnerable enough, sharing them that I failed in the past, they saw themselves in me. This guy failed, I'm failing now. So if he could do it, like what he did to me as well, yeah. So I started to be the role model for others, and they started to get on board. But we take it seriously, because I know what it takes to fail, how it feels, and how lonely it could become, yeah. So now I became like, I make it as a mission in my life. I don't want other authors to be conned by the system, to be taken for a ride. And sometimes I do have them for free. I don't do the work for them. I guide them. Do this and this and that, and you will get there. And like you did now, I'm publishing my new book in a few days, Publish, Promote, Monetize, which I'm going to offer for free for everyone, for those who cannot afford our services, because I really want to help those to avoid going to the same trap or the same hole and stay there.
It's amazing. And there's so many good lessons in your story, Habib. Like, first and foremost, you took a free book that I gave away and literally built, a 6+ figure business from scratch. Like, you just did the work. And that's, very rarely when you emailed me, and that was the email I got, was like, hey, you don't know me. I've never, bought your courses, invested in anything, but I took your book, because I give it away for free everywhere, similar to what you do. Took your book and I did this. And I'm like, oh my God, I got to get this guy in the podcast. It's like, what? But it just shows you that the power of actually implementing and studying and learning. And I think too, what's really smart of what Habib has done in his journey that other people can learn from is you're being transparent, you're being authentic, you're sharing your own journey, the ups, the downs, the roller coaster ride, the failures. You're not just staying fixed on, oh, I failed, I lost 65 grand and got, taken to the cleaners by this kind of scammy publisher. Out of that, I decided to figure out, how does this industry really work? How can I help other people avoid the same mistake? That builds so much trust and rapport and camaraderie with people, because you're being real, just like I share in my book, LinkedIn Riches, all the ups and downs and failures and different journeys. And I love to, I want to talk a lot about the power of books, because I know another thing that we bonded over is, I always talk about this, how books are the best marketing tool on the planet. They're the best business card, giving them away for free. And a lot of people are like, wow, why would you give your book away for free? Don't you want to make a bunch of money off it? And I'm like, no, the book is the lost leader. Like, give the book away for free. And if you do a book really well, it's 50% your story, your journey, your authenticity. It's 50% your frameworks, your expertise, your strategies. So people not only get to know, like, and trust you as a person, they also get to see you demonstrate expertise. And out of that, if you have a business built on the back of that, like Habib does, then you get hyper qualified leads. And that's literally what I've been doing every day in my business since 2012, and what you do. So talk a little bit about your experience with that, because you've taken your book further than anyone I know. Like, as far as, your clients have gotten on, big name media, Oprah's podcast, things like that. Like, what have you learned? I guess, what are the biggest insights, discoveries you've made about how books work, and why, especially for coaches and consultants, they're so valuable? Because we have so many in our audience that are coaches and consultants. If they don't have a book already, or maybe they have a book that hasn't done anything, tell me about why books can work so well for them if it's done the right way.
Yeah, and I love the word "can", because from experience, not everybody will have that success. And this is, by the way, part of our process. So before publishing a book, we put a condition. We have to go through the manuscript, we have to go through the author profile, and we have to make sure that we can really bring that author to a certain level. Not everyone could be taken there, because sometimes the story is not strong. Sometimes somebody is only like preaching and not really, that there's no soul in it, and that's very important. So we do this kind of screening before we get an author on board, because that's important for us. We want a track record. We don't want to fail somewhere, So we really make sure that we can win, number one. Number two is what I learned, and this could be limited to my experience. I'm not sure if you share the same thought. I believe there are two breeds of people, the extroverts and the introverts. Those extroverts will jump on TikTok and Instagram. They go live and they just speak to the cam. I can never do that. I'm an introvert, yeah? On my own, I could speak for hours with someone, but on my own to the cam, I can't do that, yeah? So this kind of breed of people, I think they could find some success in showing up there and getting a personal brand name, and then they could, with that personal brand name, they could sell their books. But for the most of us who can't do that, and those would be, I think, few percentage of, like 5% of the people could do that, yeah? For the most of us, no, we need the book to speak for us. Instead of us speaking to the camp, the book is doing the talk. But guess what? What I've learned in the process is when somebody picks your book and they see a book before reading it, they think that this guy really thought about all the steps to write the book. Otherwise, there is some material here. There is some content, deep thinking, deep thoughts. Otherwise, there's no merit for a book. Automatically, that's a kind of credibility check. Now, if the book really helps people and you're really sharing your story, it helps people, it makes them see themselves in the mirror. Like you're doing something that they're going through now, or you went through something in your life that they're going through now, they would think you're a step ahead of them. So imagine for a coach, imagine each coach of our authors is being seen as a step ahead of their readers, not like somebody who's really far there, like not the Tony Robbins who I can ever reach out to, like only a few steps ahead. I believe, and this is what I learned, people start to trust those authors. They feel that they can take their hands, they can take them through the journey and help them, move from the hole, which we discussed a while ago, pull them up to the other side, of it, yeah. So I think a book can do miracles. As you mentioned, I call it business card 2.0. Is the new model of a business card, because if you do it well, if you have the right lead magnet inside of it, not a salesy one, really something that you keep on adding value. There's always something I say: keep on helping and help some more, and then really help some more until they ask. And this is the strategy. We never sell, and I tell my authors never sell. Keep on helping, adding value, take them up to the value ladder, and trust me, they will ask for your services. Instead of you asking them, they will come to you, and that's really phenomenal for introverts like us who don't like to sell it to anyone in a way.
Yeah, and that's brilliant. And what I've learned with a well-done book is two things happen. One is someone does all the work themselves and has great success, like Habib, and they become your greatest salesperson ever because they're telling everyone, hey, you got to read this book. I used it and look what I was able to accomplish. And they're promoting your book. They're promoting your brand. They become your unknown sales force around the world. That's type one. Mm-hmm. Type two is the people that read your book and go, this is phenomenal, but I don't want to do the work myself. Can I just hire you to do it for me? Exactly. Or I so relate to your journey. I want to get a few steps further to where you are. Can you coach me, consult for me, teach me, take me by the hand and bring me where you are? So that's what ends up happening. Now, what I want to know is where, how to build a business on the back of this, right? Because I was the same as you, and I was laughing when you said earlier, when I published my first book in the early 2000s, I thought, well, this is good. All I have to do is hit publish and I'll just make money and everyone will be, I didn't realize at the time, like, I need a business behind this. Like, so especially for coaches and consultants, because that's kind of, a lot of our audience and a lot of who you serve too. What are the best, quote unquote, business models to build behind this? How do you set that up ahead of time? What's your advice on that?
Sure. Let's set some basics first. Rule number one, or myth number one, you can never make money out of royalties. This could happen for a minority few. A lot of authors come on board, they think royalty is going to put food on the table. I tell them, if you're up for that, please don't contract us. Don't do it. Don't jump into that word. It's not yours. So that's rule number one. Rule number two is most authors think what I have in mind is what I want to write about. And I tell them that's also wrong. Study your audience, understand their pain point. What wakes them up at 3 a.m. in the morning, and they're thinking about that's their pain. Is your book bringing a real solution to a real problem? If no, go back to the drawing board and make sure that you're offering real solutions to real big problems out there when you study your readers or your target audience. When you do that, everything falls into place. If your content is really helping them, even by reading your book, feel that the needle is moving in their world, they're feeling better, they're feeling that, yes, I could do it. Most of the times, and this is the rule number three, most people, by the way, most readers, I'm not sure if it's laziness or they trust the author. They feel that, okay, what I've read is great, but I can't do it alone. Like in my case, I read your book, I thought I could do it. Yeah. But still, after some time, I wanted to become your client because I knew that is
how do I take it farther? I'm only one person. Yeah.
Exactly. Because, and that's what our authors tell us. They tell me, we're an author, we're not a marketeer, and do that stuff for me. I'm not a writer. Sometimes I'm an author, I'm not a writer as well. Do the ghostwriting for me in a way, yeah? So when they build the right, if the solution to real problems, and if they build the story in a way that's personal and people could relate to it, and they build trust, you build trust like, yes, I'm moving you there, I'm adding value beyond the book. So I think there's a step between the book and getting clients. You need to nurture the relationship beyond the book by maybe inviting them to a podcast, maybe a newsletter, maybe a workbook, maybe a cheat sheet, maybe I don't know what. So whatever makes sense to each person's case, they should be adding value beyond the book. And this, I call it the trust tank. So you're building that trust tank, you're building credit with your audience so that whenever they feel they're ready, and one day they feel that they're going to be ready, maybe not immediately, because they will try themselves, they're going to fail a bit, they're going to try to get the learning from the book. They see it's doable, but they feel I don't have time for it. And this is when they will approach the author and say, okay, I want your services. How can you help me? So imagine jumping on a call, instead of you doing the sales, somebody is telling you, how can you help me? It's the same way. After I've read the book and built my business, I approached you 2 weeks ago and told you, I'm ready I want your services now to go to the next level. So it's the same thing, because you build that trust tank. In my case, you had a lot of my trust when I read your book. When I applied whatever was in your book, I found the success. But then I thought, if what I applied on my own got me that success, what if that guy could do it for me? And this could be another level in a way.
Yeah, and that's brilliant. Like, you just see this, it makes it for the easiest sales calls ever. But somebody comes in and says, I hired my business coach this way back in 2012. I randomly found a book on Amazon that I liked the title of on marketing. And I read the book and I fell in love with this guy. He was really funny, self-deprecating, and his marketing advice was brilliant. So when I came to him as a prospect, I was just hoping he would take me. I was hoping he would take my money. I was begging him. And that was such a different thing than, who are you? What makes you better than all the other coaches? Why would I choose you? What's your backstory? I already knew it all from the book, and I was pre-sold. So it obviously leads to a natural extension where, as a coach or consultant, people, and I did see this early with the LinkedIn book before I even had a Done For You agency, people saying, would you just do this for me? Or would you teach me how to do it? And that's where I built. So sometimes you don't even know, but I built an online course just because people are asking, do you have videos to go with this? Yeah, I'll make some. Okay, sure. Can you just do it for me? Yeah, I'll hire some people and I'll create an agency. And so I think the business follows from it. I'd love, before we pivot into kind of what you did so well with LinkedIn, I'd love to know a little bit more kind of behind the curtain with Amazon, with promoting books, with getting bestseller lists, with getting featured on podcasts, because you have such a good, company. It's called Authority Publishing, and we'll link to it everywhere. You have these different packages where you guys will help people not just, write the book. You'll even take people that have already published a book that didn't do anything and audit it and figure out what went wrong. But then on the back end, you'll create ways to get it on bestseller lists and ways to get them on these big podcasts. What have you found about how to really sell a book well, let's say on Amazon, and then also how to get people featured on podcasts? Is there a certain secret sauce to it? Is it just all depend case by case on the author and what makes them different? How do you tackle that?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, we divided our model into three main pillars. We call the publish, promote, and monetize. And actually look at them as a tripod. If one of them is absent, the whole thing will not stand up. Yeah. Because if you don't monetize all of that, and when I say monetize, that's not royalties. I mean monetize your services. You could never sustain, keep on promoting your book and your brand in a way. So when you publish a book, I think we spoke about that earlier. I don't want to go too far into that. Make sure that your book answers a real problem to a real audience, and offers solutions to real problems from real audiences. Rule number one, yeah. And of course, that there should be really some processes, some good content that really makes changes. But this is where most of the publishers in the world stop. They publish your book and they say you goodbye, they leave you on your own, and you don't know what to do about it. So what we do is we take the hand of the author and to the next step. Let's promote your book. Let's promote your personal brand. So what we do is, for bestsellers, I think think of it like stairs. Stage number one, you should become an Amazon bestseller, but that's the easy one. Stage number two, you could become a USA Today bestseller, and that's another different, level of getting sales. And then level number three is the New York Times bestseller. So we always tell our authors, start with an Amazon bestseller. Don't dream of the next two until you build a business, because once you start to monetize your services, you could dream of the next level and the following one. So to go on the Amazon bestseller, if your book really has great content, nobody will see it unless you promote it, actually. So what we do is we start running Amazon ads, because Amazon is a search engine like Google. But the beauty of it is it's a search engine that has your credit card, and you could, with one click, you could purchase the book. So imagine now you advertise on Amazon where the crowd is, because they're searching for something on Amazon, and you run Amazon ads for your book. But of course, Amazon ads, if not run well, it could be, you could lose a lot of money there, by the way, yeah? So you should master the keywords, the categories, the ASINs, so how to market, how to choose the things you want to bid on, be it keywords or ASINs or categories, and then really understand the finances, like, okay, how many clicks I could afford for making a sale? When should I drop that keyword? So on and so forth. So there's a lot of manual work that should be going on a daily basis, in the beginning at least, to optimize those ads to start to deliver results for you. But Amazon ads by itself will not really make it that big. So then number two is we go to the book promotion sites. There are a lot of credible book promotion sites. Out of thousands who are not credible, so you should. Yeah. So over experience, because we burned a lot of money. Myself, like I spent 50 here and 100 there, but they add up, man. Yeah, I know what works and what doesn't work. So we compiled a short list of book promotion sites that really deliver big results on small investment in a way. So imagine now Amazon ads with the book promotion sites. Then imagine now a new book from a new author that doesn't have customer reviews yet. That's normal. Okay, so there's no social proof. We need to bridge that. So the way to bridge that gap is we work on editorial reviews. So each author have their own entourage and their own environment, some thought leaders, and we have them how to approach them, how to give them a book and ask for an editorial review. Or we could do it for them. So it depends on, it's a case-by-case scenario. And then also to bridge the gap of social proof, we start nominating those books and authors for literary awards. Imagine now, new author is an award-winning or award nominee. Actually, look what, sometimes we go to the movies, we don't know the authors, and that movie is an award nominee, and we want to watch it. The same shit for books. Award nominated, even if you don't win it, it's great. It's a social proof by itself if you know how to promote it and you display that this book is an award nominee for blah blah blah. So we bridge all of that gap. So now imagine social proof is there. You're getting the Amazon ads, you're getting the book promoters, but in my opinion, from experience, being guests on podcasts, and those are the tier 1 and tier 2 podcasts, will really move the needle a lot, because what I call that's leverage. You're leveraging other people's connections or followers. So imagine now you jump on a podcast and you're true. You're just sharing a story, and when people love it, people will come to your book. They will come to visit your website, And this is what moves the needle. So now imagine on Amazon, you're running the ads, you're getting all that social proof, and you're getting fresh traffic from podcasts out of Amazon. Amazon would love you, man. Wow, this guy is getting us fresh traffic. And they will start to show more of your book, and even your bidding on the ads will start to get lower. So the more you have traffic and the more you have conversion, the less the bidding, and this is where you become profitable over time. It needs about 6 months, by the way, to have profitable ads on Amazon. People think I'm gonna break even in a few weeks. I have never seen that happen. Actually, I saw that only in a couple of our books, because the authors had lots of followers. They were kind of celebrities. So we do all of that to promote, but this costs money to be here and there and Amazon, blah, blah, blah. So we need to monetize in parallel. So the monetization, the third pillar, we plant seeds for it in step one, promote, publish, I mean. Because when you publish your book, you need the lead magnets, you need to see how can you draw people to read this to your ecosystem, your website, your funnels, your CRM, and nurture that relationship with them. So on the monetize, also we have some values, or like values we live by. We always tell the authors, please don't sell anything. When people come to you, nurture the relationship, keep on helping, send them articles, send them another book if you have, or whatever, and eventually they'll jump on a call. Even when you invite them for a call, don't sell, just add value, and eventually they will purchase. And this is what's happening in my case. So we have authors joining us for ghostwriting that could be around 35 to 50K investment to publish their book. And trust me, we never sold them anything. They came to us because they loved what we do. And we have the other authors who publish the book and go into circles, not getting anywhere on Amazon. And they tell us, can you help me from that point onwards? And also, of course, we could do that.
It's so brilliant. Yeah, you've really got the model down. And I know a lot about this too, because I've done self-publishing since the early 2000s, and I've made all the mistakes. And, I mean, I think we're at the point now where people know you can just publish your own books. You don't have to go to a traditional publisher. But having a partner like Habib is so smart, because I'll speak from first-hand experience, Amazon's really freaking hard. It's really hard to know how to get the right categories, how to get the right keywords. The ads are a whole nother animal. I've lost so much money on ads. I've used different agencies. So there's a lot involved there where you do want expertise. And I love though how your model builds on all these different things, So, the podcast traffic drives it to Amazon, which helps lower your ad costs. It's brilliant. So I want to pivot now and kind of finish up with LinkedIn, because obviously that's what we started with. That's how you came into my world. Tell me a little bit about kind of what you took from the book and implemented that worked so well, because you really dialed in. And I'll actually show your profile here. And this is actually for the video, folks, we'll actually do a little screen sharing. So we'll do a little feature of Habib here, but you've got a really good, and I'll even say, just from the book, a really good client-facing profile. You've got your social proof up here. You make it super clear in your headline. What do you do? It's not CEO of Authority Publishing. You're not talking about yourself. It's done for you book publishing. That could not be simpler, right? Oh, okay. I know exactly what I'm getting if I connect with Habib on LinkedIn. Done for you book publishing and relaunch programs. And then I love, you did follow the book exactly. You're so good. and he says, because the two key things for LinkedIn headline are the service you provide and then the target audience. So you're saying done for you book publishing and relaunch programs. And then you say for coaches and consultants. Boom. So if I'm a coach or consultant and I connect with Habib on LinkedIn, I know what's in it for me. He can help me with either publishing a book or launching it, right? And then he's adding another line, helping turn your book into leads, clients, and authority. And then as we go through your profile and, even just what you set up on your own, you did such a nice job following the format that we've seen work well for client-facing profiles, which is what I do, who I work with, why it works, what makes me different, how it works, right? So you're walking through and you're answering each of those questions with a real simple explanation. So what I do, I help coaches, consultants, and entrepreneurs publish or relaunch best-selling books that then bring them what? What's in it for them? Mm-hmm. Position them as the authority, turn those books into consistent qualified leads for business. Who do I work with? You go deeper. why it works. We've talked about that. You explain that in your profile, what makes you different. And this is where you tell a little bit of your own story, failed under a traditional publisher, built your own system, sold over, 100,000 copies, helped all these different professionals, right? So you've got a really good client-facing profile, which is a lot of people never get there, right? So now tell me a little bit about your messaging, right? Because we talk a lot about in the book LinkedIn Riches, and I scream it from the mountaintops, the money's in the mailbox. It's in one-on-one LinkedIn messaging and DMs. And so many people come back to me and go, oh, it's just all spammy and everyone's trying to sell and it doesn't work and everyone's just pitching. But you obviously found immense success there. So what types of messages did you use? What kind of formulas that worked best for you in your experience?
Yeah, sure. Before I go to the messages, I just want to add one point about the profile. John, I just copied and followed every single step you laid down in your book. Trust me. Even the photo that has all the social proof, I saw yours and I wanted to see how does that translate to in my case. So I really followed really to the point, at least to my own knowledge that what you advise there. So going back to the messages, even in your book, by the way, you shared some examples. You shared them. I took them one by one, step by step, which I'm going to explain. So first one is to connect. But when I connect, I plant the seed of why I'm connecting without being salesy. So I tell them I'm connecting with authors, coaches, consultants, so that we can exchange notes about how personal branding can help us monetize our services. So they think now personal. I also planned something about books. So personal branding and publishing a book to monetize our services. I'm not telling them I want to sell you. I want to exchange insights with you. But in a way, I'm planting the seed down there that that's what I do, without telling them this is what I do, blah, blah, blah. Because in reality, nobody gives a shit about me. They give a shit about how can I help them in life, yeah?
Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about me. They care about themselves. Morning, noon, and after supper. I built my whole business off that line, and it's true. Yeah. So so you get connected. You have a great message. Hey, positioning myself. Let's exchange ideas and insights. So then, what goes into those early messages? How do you get them?
The second message, what was a game changer for me, which was actually kind of a copy of your message. So I tell them, tell me something that I can't see about. I can't know about you from your LinkedIn profile, and I tell them this is mine. So what I tell them is how I started in COVID. I started to work on Zoom, and sometimes I forgot that in my shows where I could stand up and stuff like that. But what I plant another seed is when I'm on Zoom calls with consultants and coaches who want to build their brand of a personal brand through publishing a book. So I'm telling them with whom I am without selling them, but they would know that that's the kind of people I'm always on a call with. And
let's pause on that.
People reply and they tell me they become vulnerable and they share their stories. I love it. Sorry, please go ahead.
Brilliant. So you did two things great. You did what I call the icebreaker message, which is simply like, hey, what's one thing I can't learn about you just from looking at your LinkedIn profile? Here's mine. And it's typically, a funny, self-deprecating anecdote or a hobby or a passion outside of work that you don't talk about. Mm-hmm. And then you say, you did even a better tie-in, which is the funny Zoom story. And by the way, I'm usually on Zoom with authors talking about books and branding. Brilliant, man. Brilliant. And that shows people too, you're not AI, you're not a bot. This isn't templated. And that's such a great way to get engagement. And then, how do you move the conversation along? Because obviously we can make friends on LinkedIn all day long, but how do you kind of keep moving it toward seeing if this person's a lead or not for you?
So before I move to the third, on the second message, I have over 50% reply rate, by the way. People love it. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible.
They tell me that's the first time I see someone on LinkedIn who's not, corporate style and, who's vulnerable and who's sharing, they tell me your main story and people love it and they open up and they love it when they open up because they become vulnerable. And by them becoming vulnerable, they will share their pain points. And from that, I could build on. They will tell me, okay, I failed in publishing my book or I failed in this or I'm failing. They open up, man. And opening up is a gate opener to enter their world and start the conversation. Yeah. So, and then I take it really depending on what they reply to me. So because each one they have their own reply, but I make sure I reply to them. I don't take it for granted. Okay, I know, no. I look at the small opportunity from their reply on how I could pivot the conversation more towards personal branding or towards publishing a book. Okay. So let's suppose they tell me about their story and something amazing. I tell them, have you ever thought of sharing your story with the world through a book, for example? Yeah. So I really take it very personal. Now, for those who don't reply, I take them through a third message, which is another vulnerable story, telling them, when I started early in my career, I wanted to do coaching. I failed because people didn't trust me, didn't know who the heck was this guy, and I failed. Then I figured out how a book could position me as an authority. And I read an article, I wrote an article about that. Would you like me to share it with you? Copying you, give me an okay or thumbs up, and I will send you the link. So I never send it up front. I share with them the context of the story and why the article. If they relate to it, a lot of people give me the thumbs up, and then I send them the article. So usually there's three messages, 3 articles. They could relate to either of them in a row before I start to slow it down with them. Now, when I send them the link to an article, this is where the magic happens. Because within the article, I'm nurturing the relationship more. I'm adding more trust. They see me as more credible. They trust me more because I'm sharing real information in those articles, not fluff. And then at the bottom of the articles, I tell them, would you like to talk about that? Did you have something in mind? Shall we jump on a call? I give them a banner. Boom, click a call with me. And they know that I'm not going to sell them anything because they already saw me on LinkedIn, not trying to be salesy, always asking for permission to send them even a link. And I've saw a lot of conversions coming from those articles. Man, my calendar is about, at any month, 8 to 12 minimum calls a month. Not now, okay, maybe I didn't learn something from you, which is how to kind of make sure that they are the right caliber of before they jump on a call, like how to pre-qualify them. So I'm not going to, and that's something to optimize later on and learn from you. But my calendar is always booked, and maybe I'm getting 30+% conversion, but that's awesome. At the end of the
Well, you do some brilliant things there. One is you're planting seeds. You're talking about their deepest desires. Have you ever thought about sharing your story? Have you ever thought about publishing a book? And you're getting them excited going, yeah. And if I was ever going to do it, man, Habib seems like a guide I could trust. He's been vulnerable. He's been down this road. He's made all these mistakes. And now I'm going and looking at his profile and looking at his website. Wow, he's working with all these authors. Look at all these social proof, And then you've got another great strategy that you use where, again, you offer value up front and you solve a real problem, and you offer to do it for free in the form of a call, which is a book audit, right? So explain that strategy to people, because that's another area where you can offer to someone that already has a book your expertise, and that gets them engaged, and you have services on the back end. So explain that one to people too.
Yeah. So for those who are already authors and published the book, but really are going to circles and not really seeing any traction on the book, I tell them that's fine. I've been there. Let's offer you a free, we call it the book posture report. That's how we call it. And basically it's a 7 to 10 pages, depending on the book, that really explains things to them in a very objective way through data. So I always tell them what you're going to see here, the good, the bad, and the ugly, it's not a personal opinion. Everything is driven by data. I'll explain to them why the title is wrong and why the cover is wrong, or the category, or whatever, the keyword indexing, because we have some tools that we can extract if they did indexing the right way or the categories the right way and how much they're selling and the kind of stuff. We go even to the description. Is the description following a certain psychology to convert? And trust me, there's a lot to do on descriptions also. On starting with the pain, exaggerating the pain, introducing you as an authority, and the outcome and the call to action. So there is a certain flow we need to follow, which I always find it lacking in most authors, by the way. So when we explain things to them through data and keywords, and I share with them the report after the call, I tell them, attend the call. At the end of the call, I'm going to send you that report, no questions asked. And you could do whatever you want with the report. Even if you want to go to another agency, another publisher, feel free. It's yours for free. This builds trust. Imagine I'm closing the call. not asking for business. The fact I emailed them the report, boom, it's another trust level. I'm building those credits in the trust tank. Yeah. What happens? They reflect on it. Most of the time, they tell me that's the first time a publisher goes to that level of detail and shares real data with me. Most of them, they want to make big, quick bucks. They publish the book without doing that homework. And guess what? They either come back to us to republish their book, or they come back to us to publish their next book. But this is a game changer, in my opinion, from experience.
Yeah, and it's demonstrating expertise and providing value. And they've already been down a road with a publisher that didn't go well. So you're also tackling the core objection of, oh boy, I've tried this before. You're going to take my money too. You're going to scam me. Whereas you're going, no. I'll just show you why it's not working. Do what you like with it. It's a blueprint to fix it. And then the more that they see that, they're going to go, wow, and this guy's different. Like, he's showing me stuff the first publisher never did. And we run into that too, where people say, well, I used other LinkedIn agencies and it didn't work. And I'll say, well, let's examine what happened, right? And let's audit what you tried. And then we can point out, why it failed and what we do differently, or what we would suggest you do differently. And then they can decide, do they want to do it on their own or not? So, man, you're a genius. I'm going to work for you. You got it all figured out. Well, I love this conversation, and I so appreciate you taking the time. I want to make sure people can find you online. So I'm going to show a couple things just to make sure for the video audience, they can find Habib online. So he's got an amazing website. It's authority, and then a hyphen publishing.com. So authority-publishing.com. You can go there. He's got an amazing website, all kinds of insight and info. He's got, I love the book covers. You guys do some amazing covers here. So definitely go visit it. I mean, you're going to see such a great, look at all the different titles and topics. And that is so cool. I mean, you've got, everything from being on the stage to time management to, innovation, creativity, parenting, mindset. Oh, look at all this stuff. Yeah, you've got so much good stuff. Employee millionaire, right? Being a real estate investor. You've gotten clients, featured in different places, TEDx interviews. Man, look at this. Like, this is incredible. So authority-publishing.com is where you can find Habib's company. And then obviously he's on LinkedIn as well. If you just go to linkedin.com and then the little /in, and then it's just HJ Chammas. So HJCHAMMAS. And we'll link to all this as well in the show notes. But man, really, really appreciate you coming on and sharing your story. It's been so fun to hear all that. I've saved your email. I'm going to print it and frame it. That's like, I tell my wife all the time, like, that was the best email I've ever gotten. Some random guy I've never met halfway across the world took this book, implemented it, changed his life, changed his business. So, I have this sign, right? Look, I'm kind of a big deal. Look, see, I tell my wife, see, I'm not doing the dishes. I'm helping people. I'm too busy changing the world. Habib Chammas, thank you so much for coming on the show, man.
My pleasure. Just one thing to add. Also on our website under author resources, I'm offering a free copy of my book, which is practically everything we do in our agency. If they want to do it on their own, they're free to just read the book, implement everything. It's like how you taught me how to implement things on LinkedIn. I'm teaching every other author how to implement their own thing on publishing a book and promoting their book and becoming bestseller and monetizing their services. Everything is really detailed in the book that anybody could do on their own if they have the time for it.
So this is the new book. I thank you for bringing this up. So it's called Publish. It's your 3 pillars: publish, promote, and monetize. That's the name of the book. And it says how coaches, experts, and thought leaders build authority and a personal brand, grow their business, and turn their books into profit machines. And yes, you've got it. It's on the website under author resources. You can get a free copy. Look at this. I'm going to opt in and get it. I want to learn all your secrets. That's amazing. Yeah. And I love that you're following that blueprint. You're giving away all your expertise. You're showing people you're the real deal. You're telling your story. And as we noted, people are going to do one of two things. They're going to implement it all and give you the credit and tell everyone they know and become a salesperson for you that you never even meet and drive people to you. Or they're going to come to you and say, this is brilliant. Nobody really has laid it out this well. I want you to do it for me. So Habib, you got to figure it out, dude. I'm excited.
John, thanks for everything. And thanks to you, I changed my life. 3-4 years ago. And what you do is really amazing. You do it out of heart, and you walk the talk. You don't talk shit. You just do what you've been doing, and I love that.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you.